You're listening to the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Show. We're going to keep you up to date and current in all sports. We'll make sure you're aware of everything in corporate and enterprise business. And most of all, we'll share with you how to make a little more money as we cover the NBA, the NFL, and Major League Baseball. All colleges, and you stay tuned for the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. You got Angel Reese, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. No doubt about it. Brings in special guests on the Unapologetically Angel. Okay, and talks about a previous relationship with NFL star Travis Kelce. Unapologetically Angel guest. Kayla Nicole gets on there and talk about some previous relationship. But here's the deal. You're going into out of your league, meaning you're going into the NFL, okay? And you got two things I can tell you about the NFL that really is it is really a no-nonsense league. They don't push messy drama, relationships, or anything like that. And, you got Travis Kelce, two-time Super Bowl champion. I'm always going to show you how to make more money. Now, I'm not in the business of telling you how to lose money, but here's what Angel Reese is doing. When you get involved in this, you have to understand how many jerseys, when Taylor Swift put on Kelce's jerseys, how many got sold. Okay, this number is an astronomical number. And here's where Angel Reese, I'm going to tell you, you're out of your league. The NFL and the WNBA or what you got going on doesn't pay my bills, all this drama. The NFL's got a lot of reach, folks. So when I talk about reach, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show Billions. Great show. I think it's on Showtime. You can get it on demand, but Billions just tells you what's in play. NFL's got a lot of reach, okay? A lot of reach with the networks, TV contracts, and unapologetically Angel. I do not get it, because you're talking about two prominent figures in America. All right. And one thing my granddaddy always told you came from a family of patriots. Son, stay on your side of the tracks. Okay. This one here, Angel Reese, stay on your side of the tracks. This is not a position that you want to come in. And when you're talking about an NFL Super Bowl champion, I think a 3-time Super Bowl champion, right? That's a lot of jersey sales, folks. This is the business. When you get here and you look at the corporate structure, and when I talk, I'm only talking about organization, structure. How can you make more money? And Angel Reese, I mean, really, is she a brain of business? I believe she understands marketing, but a brain of business or an object to be seen. And I think that's keeping it right there above the grade and above the line. I mean, you can interpret the context that I'm using any way you want, but I'm gonna break this down for you when I look at Angel Reese. Angel Reese is on a path, an individual, okay, who it came out of LSU with controversy, right? Suspensions, Kim Mulkey, however they covered it up. Kim Mulkey went to bat for you, right? LSU women's basketball. Mulkey protected her players. I think came close to costing Mulkey her job, really, because the governor wanted to stop money to LSU because they were hiding missing national anthems, things like that. Those are things you don't do, right? So when you get to the NFL, this is what I'm saying, Angel Reese is, and you get to the NBA, and when you have a brain, you understand if you say or do anything that is going to affect the process flow of sales, jersey sales, merchandise sales in the NFL, you got a whole new awakening coming, right? Because Taylor Swift sold a lot. Travis Kelce sells jerseys. Angel Reese, yes, I understand you and Caden Clark sold jerseys. That's a minuscule, folks. That NFL, the amount of jerseys that Caitlin Clark, right? Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese sold, you can't even find that on the balance sheet of the NFL. Okay, the NFL is a huge machine with a lot of reach. Now, when you get to it, you start talking about NFL business because, I'm going to come back to being an object, but you start talking about NFL and getting involved in another league. A couple things you don't want to do, and you notice that Caitlin Clark's been welcomed into the NFL with the Colts, right? She's been welcomed into the Yankees, right? You don't get in these folks' business. These folks here have a lot of reach, can shut you down, and You gotta also remember when you look at it, and you have a guest, and you want to talk about a previous relationship, right? So what is it? Love and hip hop, right? Unapologetically Angel in the media. Here's the deal. See, you can't come back and start talking about, well, the fans are not right. This is not right because you opened up to the media. You're giving them an hour of content. That's right. 1 hour of content, and on top of that, 3, 4 more hours of content. So there's just so many shots that can be taken at you. Then you want to come back and say there's racism. And, I told you that in our community, you can be messy. Then you get another word. My family member said, you know what? They call that being thirsty. All right. I mean, you're just chasing down the drama. Now, here's the thing that Angel Reese is really gonna have to understand. You can't get in there and start laughing at people's fans. Okay, let me tell you why. They got more than you have, right? They got more than you have in the network and everything they've built up. Because nobody's gonna be in the music industry, build somebody to a star, okay, and let somebody else come in and destroy or wreck that. I mean, there's revenue involved, right? This isn't the WNBA you're dealing with here. Okay, and I think Angel Reese has got to understand, this is not the WNBA you're dealing with. All my fans. Now here's the thing. That means when she said all of our fans were going to choose Clark, that means they were supporting you, but you came out with something funky and foul, right? You came out with something funky and foul. You're getting in the man's business. Okay, was it a point? What did you want to tell America? He dates black women? I don't understand it, right? Because I'll tell you, in all my years of going in the NFL and covering the NFL, being in the locker room, interviewing NFL head coaches, let me tell you, that's the highest brand and that's the highest shield, right? The public relations of the NFL teams, 32 teams, multiple public relations, very high security. There's nothing you're going to do in that building they're not going to know. That is not what you want to be touching the NFL business because they have a lot of reach to shut you down, opportunities. I can tell you, this reminds me, NFL's like Augusta and the Masters to give you a better idea of what I'm saying. And when you look at the fans and you get Augusta at the Nationals, and when you get out of your league, see that the Masters wanted to have they wanted to have female member, which rightfully so, right? They've corrected it. But, they went in there and the sponsors and everybody threatened Augusta and said, "Look, here, if you don't accept a member, okay, a woman member into the Masters Club, right, at Clubhouse in Augusta, we're gonna pull your commercial." You know what the PGA Masters told all the networks? "We don't need your commercials," right? "We don't need your commercials." They ran the Masters that year with no commercials, okay? The ad revenue from the NFL and the ad revenue that comes in from the WNBA, you're looking at a very, very, very tiny amount on the balance sheet, right? So tiny you can't even see it, right? They're not even worried about it. That's a gift. All right. Anybody could help the WNBA if they needed a gift of $100 million a year. The NFL can afford to do that, right? But you got Caitlin Clark out there and doing business, right? Because you got the Colts, part of the NFL. Caitlin Clark's out there in NASCAR, right? So you know what? When Taylor Swift's talking about, that's America, okay? If they like auto racing, Caitlin Clark's there, all right? If they like bass fishing, if they like going over there to the Yankees game, sitting in a suite, there it is, right? You're throwing out the first pitch, right? Kayla Nicole on. I mean, what does that do? Because at the end of the day, they got to know that if you're messy, you're thirsty, you're running out of topics. Because I think Angel Reese has a brain, right? She has a brain of intelligence, right? That's what we want to hear. Is a brain of intelligence, right? Because you got to ask yourself, is that a brain of business or you just an object, right? Because I see the thing that gets me, and I have a daughter. So I'll speak openly is what I would tell my daughter. Is two things I always tell my daughter. One, you're beautiful, and I love you. Those are the two things she'll hear from me every single time we speak. Now, if my daughter goes to an NBA game, right? You got to understand what goes on in an NBA game, folks. You may be up in the seats, get down the court side, you got a whole different environment, right? Let's call it that. You got a different effect that goes on down there. So when I see Angel Reese and people are looking at her as an object, not as a woman that has brains, right? Women empowerment, women in business. And this is a concern I have because at the end of the day, you're going to be professional, or if you choose to be the object, and the next young lady that comes along that's going to look better, talk better, speak better is going to replace you, right? But when you have a brain, they cannot replace you. And to walk into the NBA arena and with NBA players, folks, let me tell you, those guys, I'll tell you about the NBA guys. The NBA guys are out of control, right? They have such a competitive environment of women that just go to the NBA games fully dressed. You'd see Michael Jordan coming in there courtside with Jordan. Man, you got more hair got done that day than anywhere else in that city when Michael Jordan comes to town. Why? Because it's a competitive environment of women who like to date or see NBA players. And that's why they have basketball wives, right? So I don't know where this is going. Angel Reese, you have a brain of intelligence. You could be utilized. You want to be seen as an object. You're going to pick one. It's your choice. Nobody's I'm saying for long-term longevity purposes, I wouldn't want to be an object. I would want America to know that I have a brain, right? So let's walk down and we're going to get on out of here and let you start your day. This is the Money Mike Syndicated Radio podcast. We're powered up by Fanatics and we're getting it done. It's a beautiful day. It's going to be all things are possible to those who believe. Absolutely. So you got Angel Reese out of her league, NFL business. Stay out of there, Angel. You don't want those guys. Those guys got a lot of reach over there. Roger Goodell is not Kathy Engelbert. He'll drop hammers. I'm telling you. Angel Reese, Taylor Swift fans, she laughed at him. Caitlin Clark fans laughed at him, but you come back later and you call him racist, right? So you're going to poke the bear, right? Well, that's what it's called. You're poking the bear. And as long as you keep poking the bear, guess what? Okay, they're going to come back. The bear is eventually going to wake up and growl. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you bring on Kayla Nicole unapologetically. Okay, so what's the deal? Ex relationship. Now, what are you going to do? Start telling us things that go on in Travis Kelce life? Okay, just think about that, folks. I want you to think about that for a minute. Angel Reese is going to get on unapologetically Angel and start telling us things that have went on with his ex in his life. Do you think the NFL will allow that? Really, this is where I'm going. The NFL's got enough security, former FBI, current FBI. They got agents, everything you can have. The NFL's got the highest security, the highest shield, and the highest brand. And there's nothing better. There's no better tingling that comes down for me from the NFL business, right? You're talking NFL business of seeing the flyover, right? The Patriots, man, you're coming on in here because we got to protect this country, right? That's the only way America stands and stands tall. But you know what? You're laughing at the fans, right? And I'm on the other end going, well, if you want to laugh at them, you better recruit some more African American fans. Why? Because you're not going to have anybody to see you play, right? Because if you remove all the Caucasian fan, now who's watching you play, right? So that's something that you're going to have to do. I mean, pick a side. Pick a side. You know what? Taylor Swift fans picked a side and they just said, Caitlin Clark, we don't need the drama, right? So they moved on. And you can laugh at them, do what you want, but they're going to do what they want. They're already there. I mean, you're not going to go any higher than a 3-time Super Bowl champion, right? So Travis Kelce, like, really, I mean, it's a spot on the balance sheet for these guys. And Taylor Swift, my goodness. I mean, who knows what that balance sheet looks like because they're still counting the money, right? So you got to stay in your lane, and you are out of the league with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Okay, you're talking about the highest shield, the highest brand, the NFL. They do it right. The players don't get on the line. I can guarantee you this, not a NFL player can get on there, start a podcast, and start talking about ex relationships with other NFL players, right? You just don't do it. It's not professional, right? But how much is a click or acquisition cost of a click? I don't know, less than a penny, but it is what it is. So you're going to go out there and Angel Reese, are you a brain of business or are you an object? I don't think you need to be an object. I think you have a brain. I want to know more from the brain and less about what's going on in somebody's relationship because here's the deal. We all seen the Nike Air, right? Sonny Vaccaro, no doubt about it, but there is a real Sonny Vaccaro, right? And Sonny Vaccaro really just said it plain and simple, right? And they kind of put it in context in the movie Air. It's on Paramount. I think if you get a chance to watch it, watch it. Here's the deal. All right. So They go in there and they tell him, hey, look, all right, we're going to build you up, right? You're in here. I know you don't want to sign with us. We get it. Nike, you want to go with Adidas, right? Grassroots, all the way back in '84. And Michael Jordan put a spin on it. It hadn't stopped since in the grassroots, right? So they go in there and they tell him, look, Michael, we're going to build you up so high. Just like talking to Angel Reese. They're going to build you up so high. Now, after they build you up so high, Angel Reese, I mean, you're gonna be standing at the ivory tower, right? You're in the stratosphere, you're so high. And he said, after that, this came flat out the movie. He said, Michael, we're gonna tear you down. All right. So as Angel Reese keeps going down this path, the road of darkness, they're gonna build you up and tell everybody's gonna salute you, but the fall coming down, they're gonna rip you down to the ground, right? This one ain't gonna be pretty because I've seen it too many times. And that's what he was depicting in the movie. We're gonna make you out to be the greatest, the greatest, the greatest. Look at what happened, right? Angel Reese came right in there as the greatest, the greatest, the greatest, right next to Caitlin Clark, right here, right? Separates herself, goes a different way. What happens? How do they pitch it? They go down and they get Juju Watkins, right? They bring Juju up. They push Angel Reese to the side. I'll cover that one because I'm going to break that down for you too. They're pushing you to the side now. Why? Because one, you're being disrespectful. The NFL, highest brand, highest shield. They don't want nothing to do with that.
You're listening to the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Show. We're going to keep you up to date and current in all sports. We'll make sure you're aware of everything in corporate and enterprise business. And most of all, we'll share with you how to make a little more money as we cover the NBA, the NFL, and Major League Baseball. All colleges, and you stay tuned for the Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast.
She wore Travis Kelce's jersey, and after that, the sales went through the roof for that Kansas City Chiefs jersey. Traylor Smith moves millions of people, right? And Travis Kelce, millions of people. Anybody can get in there in the game in the NFL Super Bowl, bump right into their head coach, and he doesn't even flinch. I mean, come on, guys. These guys are serious about what they do in the NFL. It's not the WNBA. But here it is, what I'll tell you. All things are possible to those who believe. I always try to give it to you as clean and straightforward as I can. Angel Reese, you got a brain. You're not just an object.